Okay, there we go. I think it removed somebody. Um, okay. I'm sorry it took so long for that recording to start. I don't know what was going on with that. But hello, everyone. Welcome in. Just to quickly introduce myself here, my name is Madeline, and I am a training specialist here at Keeper Security. So in today's session, the first about 20 minutes here, what we're going to do is going to walk you through getting your account set up. And then I'm going to show you how to create records in your vault. After that, we'll have the rest of the call open up to any questions that you may have about the platform. So we'll open it up to questions after we do go through getting your account set up and showing you how to create records within your vault here. So I would highly recommend following along if you are able to. We are here to help make sure that you're able to get your account set up. We're going to go kind of slow here at the beginning because we do want to make sure that your account is good to go. So do apologize for those of you that have already gotten your account set up. We are going to be walking through those steps here at the very beginning. So we'll go ahead and dive into it. So going in, we are going to set up your account here first. And going to do that, you'll need to go to your email. You'll need to locate an email you should have received from your Keeper administrator. I will provide this email. It'll be coming from here in the chat. It is noreply@keepersecurity.com. So if you want to use that to search through our email, because I know we get a lot of emails throughout our day, at least I do. So that'll kind of help you search for that email, locate it a little easier. But I'll give everyone some time to locate that email. If you want to let me know once you have located that email, either in the chat or giving me a little thumbs up by selecting that smiley face down there at the very bottom of the call. You select the smiley face, you should see a little thumbs up option, letting me know that you were able to locate the email. Perfect. A lot of you were. We'll give some time here, about a minute or so. I'll check back in, see if anyone else needs more time to locate the email or if you're not seeing it. And then we'll go through and set up the account there from that email. And again, if you have any questions or need any help, you can just put it there in the chat. If you don't see the email, let us know. Your admins can get that resent back out to you as well. Again, we are locating an email coming from Keeper. It is coming from noreply@keepersecurity.com. Once you do locate that email, give me a little thumbs up using that smiley face on there at the very bottom. I'll give about 30 more seconds here, and then I'll check in and see if anyone needs any more time. All right, so does anyone need more time to locate the email, or maybe you're not seeing the email before I do walk you through next steps here? Make sure that everyone's able to locate it so we can set up that account. All right. So once you do have that email open, you'll want to locate the yellow action button that's going to be down there towards the very bottom. Yours may say set up your account now, it may say something different, but as long as it's that yellow button, you'll just want to select the yellow button. And then that is going to route you over here to the account creation page. So again, within that email, you will select the yellow button, and then you'll be brought here to the account creation page. So you'll notice it'll go ahead and autofill in your email address for you. You'll then just want to select next. So what that'll do is once you do select next, your Keeper login is going to be through your SSO login or your Microsoft login. So luckily, it'll be a login that is familiar to you. You won't have to remember anything new here for that Keeper account. But once you select next, if your session is already active, so maybe you logged into your Microsoft earlier in the day, it may still be currently active. It may go ahead and automatically route you into your vault. If the session is not currently active, once you do select next, it will then just take you to get logged in again using your Microsoft login. So again, that should be a login that is familiar to you. So we'll already have that email address in there for you. You'll just select next. And then from there, you will either be routed into your vault or you will need to log in again using your Microsoft credentials. But I'm going to go ahead and get logged into mine here while I give you all a chance to get logged in. Completely ignore how I log in. I do log in a little bit differently than you. I will explain this pop-up here in a moment once I do give everyone time to get logged in. Again, if you have any questions or need any help, please let us know if you're having any issues, seeing any error messages when trying to get logged in. And again, if you want to give me a little thumbs up letting me know you were able to get logged in, that'll give me a good eye on how everyone's doing. Perfect. So I'll give about a minute here. I'll check in again, see if we need any more time. I'll explain this pop-up, and then I'll show you how to create a record within your vault, and then we'll open it up to questions. All right, so just check it in here. Was there anybody that wasn't able to get logged in? Do you still need more time to get logged in? Just let me know if you need me to wait before I explain this pop-up here. Just want to make sure we're all good to go. All right, so once you are into your account, you may notice this pop-up. You may be wondering what it is. This is letting you know that a vault transfer policy has been enabled for your account. So this is not going to give your admin visibility into your account. We are zero knowledge here, so whatever you do store within your vault, it's going to be your information. No one else will be able to see it. except you. So what this would do is allow your admins to transfer your vault, say if you're ever locked out or depart from the company. With this, you are going to be given a 7-day grace period. So at the time being, you may see an option to close out or select later. But once your 7-day grace period has passed, you will need to accept it before you will be let back into your vault. Because at that point, it would only give you an option to accept or log out. So you will just need to accept it. I recommend either accepting it now or the next time you get logged in, just so you won't have to worry about it later on. Because once you do accept it, you won't see it again. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept mine and then get here into the vault. If you do see a get started guide that pops up there in the bottom right, just go ahead and close out of that. We'll answer any questions or anything that you do have here in a moment once I do go over creating a record. But now that we are here into the vault, one thing that I am going to show you is how to manually create a record here within your vault. I'm going to show you how to create a login record, which is typically our most common type and probably what you are going to be mostly using Keeper for. So after I do that, we are going to open it up to questions. So at that point, you'll be able to ask any questions that you may have about the platform. And we will try our best to get those questions answered here today within the hour. So at this point, I'm going to dive into showing you how to manually create that record again here. So right now, you can kind of just sit back, relax, watch my screen, and take in the information. So to manually create a record within the vault, I'm going to go up here to the top left. I'm going to select on this yellow Create New option. And then from there, I am going to select Record. And whenever I do create a record here, it is going to require 2 pieces of information. That is going to be the record type and the title. So with record type, there is a drop down here of different types of records that can be created. You may notice later on whenever you do go to create one yourself that you have less or more options than I have here. But you can always just select one and see what you can include within that record type. But like I mentioned, login is the most common. So that will be the example I show you here. And this is going to be the login for my GitHub account. So that'll be what I title this record. Again, just an example here. But I'm then going to select next once I do have those 2 pieces of required information put in. And then from there, a page is going to open up here on the right-hand side of the screen. So now all I would have to do is just go in and fill in the rest of the information. So that information would be my login name, my current active password, and the website address, which I would recommend using the login URL. And some other things to point out next to the password field. There is an eye and a die icon. The eye icon here will allow you to view your password, and then that die icon would generate a strong password if you were needing to create a new one. But right now, I'm actually creating a record for a login that I currently use. So I do want to make sure I am putting in my current active login for this website. And you'll notice once I do put in that password, right below it will give me my password strength. So this does go from weak to fair, medium, and strong. Next field is the website address. So it is important that our record has a website address because of our browser extension. It'll be able to recognize this record with that website and then be able to autofill in your credentials. So with that being said, you could always just go over to that website you are creating that record for. Now make sure you're there on that login page, that page you are putting in your username and your password. Go in, copy that URL, and then paste it in here. Again, I recommend the login URL, especially whenever you are launching a record. We do have an option to launch a record out of the vault and also the browser extension. And what that would do is it would take you over to the website address you have in that record. and then the browser extension can autofill in your credentials. So that's why I recommend the login URL, just so it can take you directly over to that login page, because, you know, a lot of websites will have like a basic home page and then a login page. So whenever you are creating your records, I would put in the login URLs there. Yeah, Rosa, go ahead.
So we have to import all of the websites that we use that have a URL and a password. Is that correct?
If you use it for work, I would say yes.
Okay. Yes, for work, absolutely. They're all work. Here in DPW, we have a number of programs and technology that me and Christine both sign into every day to get data, from GPS systems to Monday.com to all different kinds. So we have to manually import all those into the vault.
Do you currently have them saved in other places?
I do. I actually use the function on the Chrome site when I create the password. It says I always save it, and then I always update it when I have to change a password.
Yes. So we actually do have an import option.
Good.
When we get to our Q&A section, Rosa, that'll be the first thing that I can show you. I'll show you how you can import in from over that. So that'll be the first topic we do. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you'll also may see an option to add in files, photos, and videos. And you can also set up two-factor for a website here through your Keeper record if you do see that option. And you may also see options to add in custom fields. So custom fields here is just an option to associate even more information with your record. So say that login required a PIN or maybe even a phone number to get logged in. You could put that information in here and it would be able to autofill that in with the rest of your credentials. You'll also see a spot to store security questions and answers, but maybe you're looking through here, you don't necessarily see the option you are needing. You can utilize this text option up here at the top left. You can edit that label to match with what that field is there on that website. Put your response for that field here, and again, should be able to match that up and autofill that in with the rest of your credentials. And then lastly, that is going to be a note section down there at the very bottom. So if you wanted to include any notes, you could do that there. But always want to click save whenever you're creating anything new or making any changes. And then from there, it is going to create that as a record for me here within my vault. So at this point here, we are going to go ahead and start the Q&A portion. Rosa did ask a great question. You know, do I have to manually create records for all of my accounts? No. If you currently have your login saved in other places, you can import in here. So that'll be the first thing that I just go ahead and dive into here. If you have any other questions, if you want to start putting those there in the chat, you can. And after I finish this importing method, I'll open it up to questions if you would like to ask. So you can use that raise hand feature once I do go over that importing option, ask your question live, or if you feel more comfortable putting it there in the chat, whatever you are more comfortable with doing. But I am going to show you how to import in here. So, you know, like I said, if you currently have your login saved in other places, we can import that in here to our Keeper Vault. And you can do that by going up there to the top left of your vault. If you select on your email address, you'll get a drop down here, but you will want to go into your settings. So email address up there in the top right, and then you will go there into the settings. So once in your settings, the import option is going to be here towards the very bottom. So selecting import, you will see several different options on how you can import in here. I know, Rosa, you did mention that you have your login saved within those Chrome browser manager. password manager, sorry. Here at the very top is the option that you would want to utilize. So for any of you that are also having that as an option, will be very helpful. So maybe you currently have your login saved in Chrome or Edge, whatever browser that you typically use. You can utilize this tool here, and what it will do is it'll go through any browser you are logged into on your device, gather those saved credentials, and then create those as records for you here within your vault. So I will show you here how this process works, just so you do know what to expect here. So if you want to do it now, or if you want to do it later, completely up to you, but I will kind of show you here what the steps are. So going there to the right of the from a browser option, we will want to select import. And once selecting import, you will see a pop-up here asking you to install the Keeper import tool. So from there, we'll just select install. And while that is installing over there within the browser, you will get another pop-up here of a code that was generated from Keeper. So you'll hit import, you'll then select install, and then while that import tool is installing, you will need to copy this code. And you can do that by just simply going there to the far right, clicking on that little copy icon, and then there at the very bottom will let you know that it did copy it to your clipboard. And by the time you've copied it, should be done installing. So going in to my downloads, if you are using Chrome like I am, it'll be like a little down arrow there. So if you select that, you'll locate the Keeper import tool. You'll click on it. It'll open up here for you. And that is going to be where you paste in that code. So you can either right click, paste, or you can do Control V on your keyboard to paste that in. Hit import, and then again, it is going to go through all of those different browsers on your device and gather those saved credentials. So last pop-up you will see in this process is going to show you what was gathered. So here you'll be able to kind of go in and check everything before you do add it into your vault. Because, you know, maybe you have personal credentials, and what I mean by that is anything you don't use for work. You don't want to import those in here to your Business Keeper account. Or maybe you just have logins you don't use anymore. You don't want to have to worry about deleting those out later on. You can go there to the far left, unselect those, and it would not import that in once you do select Add to Keeper. So everything left checked on, you want to make sure that it is something you use for work, and that is something that you currently use or occasionally use. And then once you feel good about what is left checked there, you'll just select Add to Keeper, and then it will create those as records for you back there within your vault. All right.
Thank you. I just did all mine while you did yours.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So we're Q&A for the rest of the time here. So if you want to raise your hand, ask a question, or put it there in the chat, whatever you are curious about or have questions about, please just let us know. Right. Well, while we wait to see if anyone comes up with any questions, Harriet, I do see you're here on the call. Is there anything you would like me to maybe go over while we wait to see if we have any questions?
Yeah, hi, Madeline. I guess if we are still going over what you showed us. Can you also talk about Keeper Fill browser extension and how to log into it and using it on the Chrome browsers?
Yeah. So I will go over the browser extension here. Should have already been pushed out and installed for you. If you don't see a little Keeper icon up there at the top right, you may just need to pin it. So if you do see a little puzzle piece icon up there at the top right, you will want to locate the Keeper Password Manager option, select that little pin. It should then pin it up there to the very top. Perfect. So you should then see that little Keeper icon up there at the top right. If you got logged into the web vault here, so that is this page here in the browser, it should have automatically logged you there into that browser extension because it does go hand in hand here. You'll know that you are logged in when it's all green, or the green circle all lit up, all colorful there. If you are not logged in, I'll actually show you here what it'll look like. It'll be completely grayed out. See, it'll actually log you out of the web vault as well since they are connected there. So you can you could start your day by just logging into the browser extension. It will prompt you to log in. You'll put in that work email address and you will log in the same way you did there on the browser. So selecting next, again, it'll take you to log in using your SSO login. Again, ignore how I log in. I do log in a little differently than you. But once you do successfully get logged in with your SSO provider again, it will log you in, log into the web vault as well, but then you'll be able to see things that are within your vault. I'll kind of just show you some things here within the browser extension as we do wait for any questions to come in there. Up here at the very top of the browser extension, there is options. So here you could select the three little dots. You can do our password generator. You can also go into the settings here. There are several different things that you can go in and adjust. Certain things if you want to kind of look through there. Prompts, things, if there's anything you don't want to see, you can toggle that off, toggle it on there. You can open up your web vault. So say you just start your day off, you log into your browser extension, but you want to be able to get over to this page here. And you can select that, it will open it up, and then you'll be able to go over to your web vault here in the browser. There is also a link here to our user guides. So if you click on that, that will take you over to our documentation. I'll actually just show you here what it does. Takes you over to our documentation to help you here with Keeper. It will take you over to the browser extension one just because that is through the browser extension. But we do have several things that you can search for here. If there's anything that you do need help with when using Keeper, you can search through here. We do have several things here to look through. But you can also, you'll be getting a newer version of the browser extension if you haven't already. So you may see an option eventually here, or you will eventually see an option here to do a quick sync or a full sync. And what essentially that does is it kind of refreshes your browser extension to make sure that it is up to date with your web vault here. So maybe you go in, you add something to your web vault, but you're not seeing it here within your browser extension just yet. You can do a quick sync or a full sync. Full sync does say that it would take about a minute. It's usually not that long, so you can do the full sync. It'll kind of refresh everything, make sure everything is up to date. And then you can log out like I did feature, so it'll log you out of here and also the web vault. But you will see a general list of records within your vault showing up here, and you can filter that out there. You will have a record here, or option to add a record here or here, and you can always go in and search for a specific one using the search bar up there at the top. And clicking on a record there within the browser extension, some things you'll be able to do is you can view the information There's also these little copy icons here to the far right. So if you want to copy any of that information, you can do that there. And then also scrolling down to the very bottom, you will see two options that you can toggle on. So we have autofill and auto submit. So toggling those two on, the next time I were to go over to that website, it would go ahead, autofill in my credentials, and then auto log me there into that website. And there's also a launch option up there at the very top. I'll show you here how it works. So you have one here. There's also one here in the browser, or in the browser. So in the web vault here, by hovering over a record. So I'll show you here, if you launch a record, it'll take you over to that login page. You see the browser extension went ahead, auto-filled in my credentials, and it went ahead and auto-logged me there into that website. Because I did toggle on autofill and auto-submit, so it went ahead and did that. So if you see, I got logged into my account really quick there, launching it, auto-filled it in, auto-submitted me there into that website. So will take you seconds to get logged into your accounts now instead of having to go in and type in all of your passwords. Do we have any questions? If not, I can continue going on some things on the browser extension. So I'll give a minute here to see if anybody has any questions here in the chat, or you want to ask. I can continue on with some things here in the browser extension if we don't have any. All right. So I did show you two ways you can get records here into your vault. So I showed you first way was manually creating one, and then I also showed you how to import in. You also have the option to create records utilizing the browser extension. So you could just go over to the website that you want to create your record for. This would have to be a website you don't have a record within your vault currently for. You'll just go to that login page. Just enter in your credentials like you would normally. You can sign in, and it will prompt and ask if you would like to save that into your vault. So, very, very similar to that, those built-in browser password managers. So you can do it that way, or before you actually sign in, you can select on one of those little keeper icons. You will then get an option to add that to Keeper. So selecting that will open up a new tab and take you to create a record here for that website. So I do like to show this way just because it does give you an opportunity to kind of go in, double check everything before you do save it there into your vault. So going through each field here, first one is going to be the title. So I'm going to go ahead, do a little bit of cleanup on that because I just wanted to say Zoom there. So you can edit that title and title it however you would like. Login ID and password will go ahead and autofill in from what was included there on the website. So if you made any errors, you can fix that there within those fields. And again, you can reveal your password by clicking on the little eye icon there. Website address will go ahead and autofill in for you from the website URL that you were on. So I have my login URL here. It may automatically trim it because it's doing that. Sometimes we get those URLs that are a billion characters long, just to kind of clean it up, have that URL a little more precise there. But again, if you feel like you're going to utilize that launch option I just featured, I would recommend having the login URL just so it does take you directly over to that login page. So you can untrim it, make sure it's that login URL. You can always pop back over to that website as well, copy it, and then paste it in there. And then you'll also have the option to toggle on autofill, auto submit here whenever you are creating a record there through the browser extension. But I'm not going to toggle those on just yet because I do want to show you a couple other ways you can autofill. So I'm just going to save it here. I'll show you back here at my vault really quickly. I would then see that as a record created for me here. But now that I do have a record for that website, I didn't toggle on autofill, auto submit, so it is not going to do so. So a couple other ways you can autofill. So if you don't toggle on autofill, auto submit, you can click on the little keeper icons within the fields. So now it'll pull up the record. You can select fill record, it'll fill it in. You can also autofill by going to the browser extension. So clicking on the little keeper icon up there in the top right. It will bring the record for that website up here at the top, showing it as a suggested record because it's doing that URL matching there. You can hover over the record, click that little fill icon, it'll fill it in. You can also select on the record and click autofill up here at the very top. So filling in any way, it'll fill it in. If it is a two-step process here, just like this one, selecting next will also autofill in your password as well, and then you can get signed into that website. So just several different ways that you can autofill in your credentials there throughout your workday, and also how you can utilize the browser extension to help you get records into your vault as well. There's one other thing I can show you on the browser extension. So I'll just go ahead and show that, and then I don't see any questions there in the chat. So I'll go over this and then check in, see if we have any other questions. You can also use it to help you with changing a password. So for any reason you ever need to go in and update a password on a website, you can use the browser extension to help you out with that. This is actually my favorite feature of the browser extension here. But just a note, you will need to go over to the actual website to make the change. If you just go in here and change your password within your keeper record, the website will not know that you changed that password. So with that being said, again, you can use the browser extension to help you out with that process. So I will show you here what that would look like. So going over to the website that you would like to change your password on, you can go into the settings here on that browser or on that website to where you would change your password. It will be different depending on what website you are doing that on. Oops. It's because I have autofill, auto submit on. It's trying to do that. Didn't know I was on that page yet. Let me toggle that off. Refresh the page here really quickly. Again, going into the settings there to where you would change your password. Okay. I shouldn't have toggled that on yet. Let's quick sync this here. Let me log out of this account. It's trying to be helpful. It's not helping me out here. There we go. Well, you should get a pop-up recognizing that you are trying to change your password. I can also pull it up by clicking on the keeper icon, selecting the change password option, and get this pop-up here to assist me with the password change. So going in, I am going to tell it, yes, that I do want help in changing my password, and then just simply follow the prompts that it gives me here. First thing it will do is it will pull up the current password I have saved within my vault. So I'll just want to go over here to this old password field, click on that little keeper icon. It will fill it in for me. And then next here, it's going to go ahead and generate a new strong password using the password generator. So since the only password you will need to remember from here on out is the one to get you logged into your keeper vault, everything else you can store here within your vault and autofill it in using the browser extension. You want to utilize the password generator here to create strong, unique passwords for your accounts. Because, you want to have those strong, unique passwords for all of your accounts. So just so they don't, get hacked or breached. No one else is able to figure them out. And, utilizing that here will generate the password. Can view the password by clicking on the eye icon and also adjust the password by clicking on the die icon. because you do want to make sure that the password meets the requirements of the website. So if you do need to go in, make any adjustments, you can do that here, and can also select show more. So if the website doesn't allow any specific symbols, you can go in, unselect any symbols that that website does not allow, and it would not include that there within that password generation. So I am going to then select use once I go in and adjust that password. I have that new strong unique password here. So I'm going to now go over here to this new password field. Click on this little keeper icon. It'll fill it in for me. And then again here on confirm new password. But before I go in and tell the extension to save that change within the vault, I do want to make sure that it updates here within the website first. So I'm going to go ahead, update that password on the website. And once it has told me that the change was successful, I can now go over here and tell the extension that yes, the change was successful. But say for any reason that website did not accept that new change, I can always select the no revert change option down there at the bottom right, refresh the page, and then go through the process again. But since it was successful, I will tell it yes. And then I will come back over here to my vault and see that it went ahead and updated that password for me. So the next time I were to get logged into that website, I can use the browser extension to autofill it in, and it would autofill in that new password. All right, so just checking in here, see if we have any other questions. Again, if you want to use that little raise hand feature, ask your question or put them there in the chat. Well, as we wait for any questions, I will go ahead over here. I'm going to go on the left-hand side here. I'll talk about some of these tabs that we have, just in case if you're curious about them. First one here is going to be security audit. What this does is it grades the passwords based on strength, and if you are reusing those across several different websites. So if you are using that same password across several different websites, it is going to flag that here. You can also select view all records to see the password strengths of your records. So I would recommend anything less than strong that you do go in and update, because you do want to have strong unique passwords for all of your accounts. So you can utilize that browser extension I just featured to help you with that process, because again, you will need to update the passwords on the corresponding websites, and use the browser extension. It'll also update it for you here within your vault as well. We also have Breach Watch. So this is our dark web monitoring tool. And what it does is it scans to see if any passwords are floating around on the dark web and what records may be at risk. So with this, it's not necessarily telling you your credentials are compromised. They may be, but they may just be high risk. Regardless, if you do have any that pop up here within this tab, I would recommend going in and changing those immediately. And again, you can utilize that browser extension to help you out with that. But one last tab down here is deleted items. I don't have anything deleted yet, so I'm just going to quickly go back up here. My vault deleted a couple of items. You can hold Control down on your keyboard to select several records at a time, right-click, and delete. And whenever you do delete one of your records, it's going to go there into your deleted items tab. How long it stays in there and how long it has to stay in there before you can permanently delete it will depend on what your admin has set, but you will have the option to restore a record. So say you're going in, doing a little bit of cleanup, you accidentally deleted a record. You can come here, locate the record that you want to put back into your vault, select restore, restore again, and it will put it there back into your vault. But I think I've touched on everything that I do in a typical training. So again, we'll open it up to questions. If we don't have any, we may end a little early here, but I do want to give everyone a chance. We do have about 9 minutes left here on the call. If you do have any questions, we are here to help. So if you either want to put those there in the chat or use a little raise hand feature, we'll get your questions answered. Oh, perfect. We got a question here from Matthew. So let's say I have a bunch of consoles that I log into with my domain account and I save them in Keeper for convenience. Every 60 days, I have to change the password. Is there an easy way to change the password across all those Keeper entries? You can't like bulk change anything. Unfortunately, if it's like a separate, is it a separate login? Like, is it the same username password?
Yeah, they're individual consoles for all kinds of stuff, like managing storage, iDRAC cards, all kinds of things like that.
Okay, so it is technically a different login from each other. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's all, my domain account is what's authenticating. Whatever I'm connecting to is authenticating against Active Directory, but I'm saving the account information as one thing.
Okay. So it's your SSO login, your Microsoft login?
Right.
Okay. So with that, that is kind of the one that you will have to know that password for, because that's the one that you'll need to, get into your Keeper vault. But if you did want to store it into your vault, just to kind of be able to access it, you can attach several URLs to one record. So I'll just go here to this one. It's the same, your SSO login is that username, password. You will see there's only one URL that you can attach here to the record, but you can also add in several other ones. So if you wanted to add in all of the URLs that you do use for that login, you can go to the add custom field option, select website address, and then add in all of those URLs that you use for that one login. So that would be one way. It will be able to associate that login with all of those URLs. So if you do have an option to autofill, it's kind of tricky because that is what you use to log into your Keeper account. But if you just want to have it stored, you want to have all those URLs stored for that login here, you can do it that way. And then to where you would only have to update this one record instead of several ones. I hope that answers your question, Matthew. Yeah, perfect. Great. Any other questions? Well, we don't have any questions. Do we just want to end early here? I'm good to stay on for another 6 minutes. I just kind of want to see how what admins want to do here.
I guess, Madeline, if there are no questions, we can end this 5 minutes early. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and stop that recording. I would just like to, yeah, of course. Thank you all